because I didn't see that in there, but I know that there was two different rates, and that was one thing. I don't know how that plays. So the EBAC gets a discount. You're supposed, let's say you pay 20, but then what if you're a member of Shenny? Is it cheaper than that too? Because that's how it's traditionally been. It's been non-members of Shenny and members. That's been the difference in rates for the last, I don't know, 8 years I played on the EB League.
And guess what?
So Todd,
Yes.
we talked about senior family of 2 last year. Yet I don't hear or see anything about a senior family. So if 2 seniors want to get a family pass, they have to get what a family, a working family has to pay.
No, they don't.
No?
The 2 seniors pay $2,200,
Right.
and the limited, which a senior is limited. So a limited member family pays $1,945. So instead of $2,200, they're paying $1,945. So that is a discount.
But that is not a senior discount, is it, Todd? That's what a family pays, correct?
Well, it's a discount. No, it's a discount off of what the senior citizen 2 times would be.
Yeah, I get that, Todd.
Yeah.
I get that, but a regular working family would pay the same. Is that correct? Hello?
Well, I mean,
So yes, it is
we're
correct.
talking apples and oranges because
No, we're not.
uh,
No,
2
we're not. We're
adults-
not talking apples and oranges.
Okay.
We're talking seniors, and we're talking working people.
Okay, so seniors would pay $2,200. Two seniors who join would pay $2,200. If they join as a family, they would pay $1,945. That's a discount.
So
That's a, that's a,
Are you suggesting a
Todd.
great discount than that?
Todd, that's a normal, regular working family under 55 or 60. That's a normal discount. So 1945, what would be nice is for you to say 1940 for a senior family. That would be a senior discount.
So 1940 instead of 1945?
Okay, you want to go lower, Todd?
No, I'm just
So
questioning.
it sounded like you want to go lower. Let's go lower.
No, listen, I'm open to all discussion.
Okay.
I'm open to all discussion. So I'm just making the observation that 2 seniors who join, if we didn't have a family limited member rate, they would pay $2,200. Instead, they're paying $1,945, and that's a
So-
discount. If you
so
all
if
want to discuss, a discount or a new rate for a senior family, then that's up to you all. You all can go ahead and discuss what you want, and you can do what you want. But for me, I'm just saying that we're offering a discount for the senior folks who are couples. We're offering a discount. If you think that it should be more, then talk about it. Yeah.
So let me ask you this, Todd. A single working person, how much would they pay?
Well, if they don't
single
qualify
working-
for a senior, then they pay 12.15. If they're a
Okay.
senior, if they're north of 62, then they pay 1,100.
I'm not talking about a senior. I'm talking about a regular working person.
Well, you're comparing seniors. You're saying senior.
What
So
I'm
can I-
telling
can I
you,
just inter-
Senior.
what
Excuse
I'm
me, this
telling
is
you, Todd,
Margaret.
is it's
Can
the
I
same.
just interject here? So Dom, just to clarify, are you talking about a limited normal adult, or are you talking about a full normal adult?
Are you asking me?
Yes, I am.
It doesn't matter.
It
Either
does.
way. Either
Yeah.
way.
So a full normal adult pays a resident of Groton pays $1,530.
Correct.
A
Okay.
limited normal adult, I hate using this, pays $1,215 a season,
Okay.
right? There is
Right.
no senior full pass at the moment. And then the $1,100 is what a senior citizen limited would pay. So it's a further discount of $115 off of the normal adult limited.
But the family, which is
Right.
what we're talking about.
So the family
Is-
is a collective, discount offered to adults and seniors if they join as a family.
Right. So there is no senior family
Correct.
discount.
At the
So
moment, there is not.
thank you. But that's my point.
Well, actually, a senior citizen member is a limited member, and there's a limited family membership, which, if we're talking about apples to apples, that would be it. That was implemented only like maybe 3 or 4 years ago, because 2 of our members who were senior folks, they asked if we would entertain the idea of having a family limited membership, and we said, well, sure. And so they were paying $2,200. So this rec commission and this golf advisory board decided to offer them a family limited membership of $1,945, and that's a discount from the senior citizen rate. So we're offering that. We're offering a discount for that.
You are offering the same for a normal working person. That's what you're not offering a discount. You're offering a discount from the 1,100. I get that.
Right.
I get that, Todd. Okay. But it's the regular family. So how do we get a senior discount for a family of 2?
Todd, how
I
many
have a
limited,
question.
how many limited family memberships do we have, do you think?
We have 11.
Okay.
This is Brad. May I interject?
Of course, Brad.
We don't, I mean, these fees that we come up with and revise on a yearly basis don't come out of the ether. They're very well thought of, and we base that on statistics, and we compare our prices with our competitors in the same kind of market, local courses with similar funds. I mean, I just want to make that statement, like these aren't fees that weren't well thought of and weren't considering our competitors' prices. That's all.
Right. We heard that Todd say based on market value. I heard that. And since you said local competitors, I would gather that Pequot is a local competitor. And I forwarded their rates to Mark. I don't know if he forwarded it to you, but in there, which is your competitor, they have a senior family discount.
Can I please ask a question that might clarify this? Because I think I'm reading this right, and I just want to make sure. So under season passes, just normal season passes, there's a family membership for residents that's $2,655, right?
Yeah.
That would be the normal working family price. Is that correct?
Correct.
Or
That
the
is
normal price for somebody under 62 years of age.
Okay, and but then under the limited plans, there's a family plan. And am I correct that that applies to senior citizens, military, and adult economy families?
Correct.
That,
Okay,
that,
so in effect, the senior family discount is the difference between the $22,655 and the $1,945, right?
so a limited, just so that you know, Francis,
Mhm.
a limited has certain limitations, which everyone else does.
Oh, okay.
Right, Todd?
Well, yeah,
Oh, okay, so they can't make tea times at certain time, I think on the weekends or something of that nature. Is that correct, Todd?
they have unlimited during the week and they can play on the weekends after 12 o'clock.
Right.
But yes, but our senior citizen members, generally speaking, they don't want to play in the morning on Saturday and Sunday. That's why, well, so we have 11 of those folks. And only 3 of them are, we have 11 family members. 11. 3 of them are full season pass members. The other folks are senior citizens that just don't want to play on the weekend. They don't want to play on Saturday and Sunday morning. They're retired. They want to play during the week. And they're thankful and happy to pay the 1945.
You're not convincing me, Todd.
Okay.
Tom, if this is
I'm-
Dan
I'm-
Stowe, I'm the new president of the Shenny Men's Club. I think another way you need to look at this is the opportunity to get out there and play golf. And when you look at it and the cost per round against the availability of the course for these people to get out there, they're playing significantly less per round of golf than any other member that is a member in any other category at Shinnecock.
I'm pretty aware. I'm a golfer myself. I'm a member at another course, which is a lot cheaper than yours. It's one of your local competitors. And this year I paid $18.05. But then again, I'm sure your market value told you that. So it's a lot cheaper. So right now,
You got to take into
Shinnecock-
account the quality of the golf course though, too. I mean, if you're
No, they
comparing
only- they
Shinnecock
have
to
twen-
Pequot, it's apples and oranges.
Dan, it's not apples and oranges. They have 27 holes. You have.
I live 2
You have
minutes from
18.
Pequot. It's apples and oranges.
No, I said Elmridge, my friend.
I'm
Elmridge.
familiar with Elmridge too. It's still not in the same category, unfortunately.
Okay, it's apples and pears. Okay. So, but they have 27. It's well taken care of. We could go on and compare courses. Theirs is cheaper than you.
And
So,
that's okay.
Could be cheaper than ours.
okay,
We're not aiming to be the cheapest course in the area.
Can I
That-
get-
that's-
Perspective.
what you want to be is you want to be the most popular and you want the most people playing there. And I'm thinking that if you offered a senior discount for a family, that you would attract more people, more families. You only have 11. I'm actually shocked by that. Shocked.
Well, we have
Aren't you-
378 members.
Pardon me?
We have 378 members. So there is ample opportunity for people to join. We're open for membership. And out of 378, there are only 11.
Right.
And that's fine.
Right.
So, okay, I guess we're talking, what'd you say? Apples and oranges. So,
I-
so
This
my point is,
This board can decide to do whatever they want to do. They can have discussion and they can recommend
Okay,
anything that they choose to do.
okay,
But the goal, the purpose of having this joint meeting was not to be in a situation where the Golf Advisory Board is making one recommendation and the Parks and Rec Commission is making another. It would be nice to think that we could all come to some mutual agreement on the rates so that when I go to the council to present the rates, I'm not having to defend and explain two different rates.
okay. What's the next step?
I make a motion that we drop that senior rate by $5 and that cost the course $50, but if that makes Dom happy, then I think that's a fair middle ground.
Are you saying that the men's club absorbs that cost, Dan?
No,
If
no.
what I understood is correct, and Dom is looking for a discount from the 1945 to 1940, and we've only got 11 family memberships, then at most that's going to cost us 55. And if it's only going to be against the senior members, then it's probably going to cost the course 15 or 20 bucks. Then for that amount of money for this golf course, whether the men's club absorbs it or whether the course itself absorbs it, I think that's a fine middle ground that we should move forward on.
Yeah, well, I'm a men's club paying anything for this. That's absurd.
No. The course can
Yeah,
absorb.
we would just, right,
It has nothing to do with the men's club, Dan.
no.
But that's it. I mean, if we
We're
need
also
to
not
add
talking-
if we need to add an additional line for senior family and call the discount, the rate 1940 for a resident and 2150 for a non-resident, then that's what we could do.
I would recommend that we don't add another category of membership. If you want to lower the limited family to 1940 and then 2150, then so be it.
Yep.
Let's decide to do that.
And that's fine as well. I think part of the goal here, Dom, is to simplify our rate schedule on top of everything else.
Yeah, if you look at the comparative sheets between Norwich, Elmich, and Great Neck, Shinnecock has probably twice as many different membership categories as the other locations.
So Dom, could we do that? And then call that a family / senior family, 1940 and 2150?
That'd be great.
Okay.
Quite honestly, when I brought this up last year, and evidently it wasn't talked about at the GAB, so I'm a little disappointed in that. But yes, I accept that I would move forward, and that'd be great. Thank you.
I think you should probably move that.
Well, is there any, before we make a motion, are there any other rates that we need to discuss?
So I'm good based upon the feedback I got. I tried to call some of the people in EB, our golf commissioner didn't pick up. So as long as the EB is kind of receiving that $5 supplement, I'm good. I just didn't hear an answer to my question. I know traditionally it's been a rate for people that are Shinnecock members and then other EB people. So is there a further discount for Shinnecock members beyond the $5 that the EBAC pays? Because I know that that's how it has traditionally been handled.
So I can speak to that, an EB employee. The only difference is that we don't have to pay greens fees because if we're already holding, that's all. That's the only difference. I still have to pay the $20 EAC fee every year. No other
That
difference.
makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, so it is $20 for anyone that is non-Shenny member to go play every time they play for the tournament.
Right, a Shenny member does not have to pay a donation fee.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brad. I'm good.
Okay, so just to make sure I have it correct in the notes, we're proposing adding another discount for senior families. And that rate would be 1940 instead of 1945. Is that correct?
Yes.
Is it adding another rate? No, I think we're just gonna have one family. It's a
Right.
combination of regular family and senior family. And that one rate is gonna be 1940 or 2150. So it's not an additional rate line. We've now merged the two and created a new rate.
Okay, so it's 1940 and 2150 for resident and non-resident.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
I have one question. Looking at the gas fee discount comment down at the bottom of the rate schedule, it talks about it applies to Groton residents, active military personnel. Could that not be active or retired and retired military personnel?
So
Well,
retired,
actually, that's true. We do offer for retired, we do, so that's actually, that should be added because we do that.
That's what I thought. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, Todd, I did have a question about that. Does that apply to combat veterans as well?
Well,
What
the Golf Advisory Board and the Recognition has always entertained the idea of an active military, retired military discount. And we're happy to do that. If you all want to have further discussion about combat vets, then you can certainly do that.
Okay. I just didn't know if there was anything combat.
No, but I'm former military, so I'm all about it.
Topic?
Anything else? All right, could we get a motion from somebody on the Parks and Rec Commission?
I'll make the motion. I'd like to make the motion to amend the rate, the family rate from 1945 to a family/senior rate of 1940 for residents and 2150 for non-resident families.
I'll second the motion.
All right, any further discussion? All those in favor?
I
I,
Okay, so that was, any opposed? Okay,
Mark, do we need a motion to add retired
Oh.
to that guest fee discount?
no, I think that was just
In
what,
practice, we do that, so I think I just, that's my mistake, I just omitted that.
Okay, cool.
I was describe that as a
Thanks.
clerical error. Now, the one other item that we discussed is the rules and regulations. The Golf Advisory Board, the only suggested change was to add Juneteenth to the holiday schedule. I think other than that, everything remained the same. And Elizabeth, you're muted.
It wasn't added on here on page 2.
Yeah, we got it afterwards.
Okay. I would also suggest an edit to page 2, item E, again, to add in the word retired, active and retired military on the first line.
Page 2.
Yes, sir, under E, yes.
Okay.
Certainly.
Okay.
Does this require a motion too?
Yes.
I'll go for it. I'd like to make a motion to accept the Connecticut Golf Course regulations as amended, adding Juneteenth as a holiday, clarification of the senior citizen rate, and clarification or addition of retired military personnel in the guest rates.
I'll second the golf rules one that you just mentioned.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed? I don't think so. All right. I think we are done. Thank you, Golf Advisory Board, for 2 meetings this week.
Yep, you're welcome.
Thank you,
Have a
folks.
good night.
Good night.
Thanks, Mark, sorry for the screw up.
Oh, no, that's okay.
Okay,
Have
see
a good night. Okay.
you too.
All right. Don, Mike had jumped in while you were reconnecting, so at this point, I think you're back in charge.
Uh-oh. I'm not that's what I was saying. I'm not looking, I don't have my normal, all I see is one screen. I don't have the ability for 2 screens so I can see what the agenda is. Okay.
Oh,
I can
okay.
run through it down.
Okay.
All right, so we'll jump back. The next thing is the approval of the meeting minutes from January. I personally didn't have any comments. Does anyone else on the board here have any comments on the January meeting minutes? Any objections to it? If not, I'll make a motion to approve them.
Hey, I have a
Someone wanna-
question. If I wasn't there, do I have to abstain?
Hmm,
Because I mean, the minutes look good, but I wasn't there. Or
Yeah,
can I just say the minutes look good and vote yes? I don't know how that works.
Well, that isn't that why we have written minutes so that everybody could read them?
Oh, I know. So I guess I can just say yes, but so I'll
Sure.
second it, sure.
You
okay.
can abstain. You can abstain.
There you go.
I can't make a motion to accept my own work, so someone else has to do that.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of the last meeting.
I'll
I'll
second.
second. Okay, that's better.
Okay. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
I'm
opposed,
abstaining.
abstained? Okay. So it's 3-0-1.
All right, the next is citizens petitions. Does anyone have anything that they received? If not,
I guess,
have you received
well,
any?
sorry, Mike, I'm just gonna jump in. I did meet with Mrs. Matzdorf and Peter Hinch down at the Esker Point Beach Waterfront Park. I met with them earlier this week. We're going to put a 8-inch banner. It's made out of the same material as the sign, just below the sign that says Esker Point Beach Waterfront. And it's going to say the Stephen Matzdorf Memorial Boat Launch. They're also going to, well, originally they were looking at putting a plaque up, but got a quote that it's be close to $1,000. So they're looking at, they've asked if we could help them put a rock or something down by the waterfront and put a smaller plaque in the rock. So they're checking into that, and they're going to do the fundraising for that. And I've already reached out to the printing company and got a quote, and they're supposed to be sending me a draft that I will share with Pete and Marge to get their approval before moving forward with the order.
It sounds like they were okay with what we decided, Mark.
They were. They were a little disappointed that we weren't changing the entire name of the waterfront park, but they were disappointed but okay with the commission's decision.
Okay.
Great. I think we move to the next one. Appreciate the update, Mark. Glad to hear that it kind of worked out. Town council referrals. Any, Mark? I assume they come from you.
Yeah, so I got a call from the town manager this afternoon that I'm going in front of the council on Tuesday night for the no smoking. That actually never made it to the council. Yeah, and also the no overnight camping. Both of those I'll be going in front of the council on Tuesday night.
So what is the no smoking, Mark? I don't think we talked about that before. Can you just give us a brief? I know we talked about the
Oh, well, yeah,
camping previously.
Mike, that might have been before your time. So the no smoking, I'm guessing it was over a year ago that we originally went to the council. And with encouragement from, I think it was Ledge-Lite Health District, they were asking for a smoking ban in all public spaces. And the commission, I think, supported that recommendation. When we went to the commission over a year ago, the council was not supportive of the idea of including all public spaces. You know, they pointed out that people standing on a sidewalk might be in the public right of way, and telling them they couldn't smoke while they were standing in a sidewalk just didn't seem appropriate to them. So nothing at that, so it kind of dropped at that point. And then I don't even remember the history now, if there was a second proposal just to move it into parks, but that's what the referral that the town manager wrote, was that it would be just in parks, but it would exclude the golf course. So that's the referral that's going to the council on Tuesday night, is to ban smoking in parks, but not the golf course.
And that comes from us, or that comes from, like, where did it get generated from initially?
I think Ledge-Lite Health District approached us. I think they spoke at a commission meeting, right? Didn't they Zoom in and yeah, shared some information about what other communities across the country were doing, and even locally banning smoking in parks.
Okay. So is that just info for us, Mark? Are we trying to approve anything on that, or?
Yeah, no, the commission's already submitted a letter months and months and months ago. So there's, at this point, there's not really any action, I think, for the commission to take.
That's fine. I was just wondering if there was anyone had any comments or from feedback they got, people that they would like it or not. I could see objection at like Esker Point, right? People go to concerts there. I could see people might smoke in that area for concerts, but I don't smoke. I can see that being
Well, we do,
potentially.
Mike, I'm not sure what's going on with your audio, but it's really hard to hear what you're saying. I think I heard something about concerts in the beach, and we actually don't allow smoking down during the concerts. So, and we do have signs up now restricting smoking in the areas where youth are playing sports and at playgrounds. So I think this is just a little further extension of that.
Mike, I'll go through my records and see if I can find that letter that we sent after the commission meeting. And I'll forward that to you.
Thanks. We're going to propose to move to the next. So that would be town council referral. Oh, sorry. Correspondence and communications from the commissioners. I don't have any others.
I don't. I mean, a number of people have asked about the, and I don't know if it's here or not, but they've asked about the grant that we received, Mark. And the lights and all that kind of stuff, and the resurfacing especially. So,
Yeah, so the Dom is referring to the ARPA money that the council made a recommendation to fund. I think it was $129,000. So the next step is to go to the RTM, I think on March 8th. And from what I understand, all of the projects were bundled as one versus splitting each one out and a singular review of each project. So that's what the commission, that's what the council approved, was a single dollar amount, which included all of the different projects, and that's what's going to the RTM.
oh,
So that was all the mark we had submitted. We had submitted like, is this really hard for you to hear me?
It is.
it is.
So Mark, I'm gonna go on my phone. You just have to flip the attendee from my phone to enter in a minute, but
Okay.
open.
Mark, the way the funds, the ARPA project money was broken down is what you at Parks and Rec assigned.
Yeah,
said-
actually, yeah, the pickleball project, here, hold on a second, I'll have it talk.
Sure.
The pickleball project, actually, Dom wrote that up.
Actually, Sherry wrote it up,
Okay, sorry.
but that's okay. That's all right.
All right. Mike, can you give us a test 1, 2?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
much better.
All right.
Thank
Yeah, I'll
you.
just use this. I don't know.
Okay.
Computer. It doesn't even find the camera on my computer. It starts it and then it crashes. But anyway, sorry. I don't even know what my question was going to be.
Well, we were talking about the grant money of 129,000 for the resurfacing and pickleball at the
That,
community center.
also, what, Mark, when you said they approved something, was that they approved all those, that 129K, that's what they approved, the council?
Yes.
Okay.
And then what they did, Mike, is they bundled all of the different projects, Public Works, Human Resources, whoever else had submitted, they totaled up the total value of all of those projects and approved one single number.
And was that like, I know we had submitted, we talked, I think a meeting ago on like the CIP projects coming up and whatever that number was, I don't remember what it was, but there was like 10 projects in or something, one of the last two meetings. Did they approve that also, or is that a separate item? Like, did they go in for budget for improvement?
That's different.
Yeah, that's separate, right?
Okay.
Yep.
And do they vote, do you know, when do they vote on that? Is there a certain time that we would know if they approved those or some of those, or how does that work?
Oh, yeah. So what happens is the CIPs go through kind of a three-step review process. First, it goes to the town manager. He listens to all of the, project proposals. They always exceed the money that's available. And so he has to kind of weigh priorities and what can wait a little bit and what can't. And then will make some cuts, some recommendations that goes next to the council. The council will review all of those. They may make some further cuts. And then it goes to the RTM for final approval, and they could also make additional cuts. And so that whole process takes us right through until like the very end of April into May.
Okay, thanks. I'm sure we'll see it on the town council agenda eventually. Thanks.
Yes.
Mark, are the ARPA funds treated the same way as the CIP?
No.
Okay, that's what I'm getting confused about.
Well, I guess I shouldn't say no, because they were sent to the long-term recovery committee, which looked at all of the applications, and I think there was 72. They made recommendations for the top 20. When that was presented to the council thought that more projects ought to be funded. And so we all had to submit supplemental information, answer specific questions that the council wanted. That was submitted. The council reviewed all of the projects again, reallocated some money, and it was during that phase that we actually picked up money for the pickleball project, because originally that was not funded. So we picked up money for the pickleball project. We picked up, or I don't say we picked up, the council approved expenditures for renovations to the ice, or to the hockey rink, and then also to the street tree inventory. And so now all of those are like in that big bundle, one number, and that all goes to the RTM. So they will either approve that number or not approve that number. So, they can't cut out specific projects. That's my understanding. They either approve all of it or they reject it, and then it goes back, and I'm not even sure if anybody knows what the process would be again, so.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And Mark, does that occur for all the other ones too? Like, say, like the ones that, the normal CIPs, when it goes to the town council and RTM, can they reject certain projects, or do they have to reject all or nothing when they go through?
No, they can reject certain projects.
Okay, so it's two different processes. Thank you.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Well, I guess the difference, Mark, would be that the CIP is the actual town funds and your budget, whereas
Yes.
the ARPA funds are the grant that came from the federal, from the feds.
Yes, that's correct.
So moving right along.
Okay. I think next was Mark, reports from you for the director's report.
Yes, so just a couple of updates from the printed report. Today we had the kickoff meeting for the design services for Sutton Park. So we had a representative from the planning department, somebody from the engineering department, Chad Frost from Kenton Frost, who is the architects working on it, and myself and our community outreach coordinator. So that project is well, it's actually already started. They've been doing surveying work. They were, inquired about wetlands permits and some of the other items that will have to be addressed as we move forward with this project. But it is now underway. We're planning on having a public engagement, a kind of a meeting like we had the other night at the annex, although this one is going to be at the community center, just because of its proximity to the neighborhood that's adjacent to Sutton Park. And we'll actually be probably having two different public engagements, one with the skateboarders and then one with all the folks that are, would be interested in some of the other changes that we're looking at, replacing a playground, making some changes to the parking lot, adding in the multi-use path and the bathroom. So that project is now underway. Last night, the RTM approved additional funding from the Connecticut Bond Fund for the bathrooms at Sutton Park and the bathrooms up at the clubhouse. Yeah, so they had originally been approved as CIPs, and our local representatives submitted these projects to the State Bond Fund and Connecticut Bond Fund. The commission approved additional money for both projects.
So Mark, when you say like the state bond fund, is that just for my reference, is that like, usually CIPs come from the town's taxes. The
Right,
state one, is that like, I don't want to call it free money because it all comes from our taxes, but like, is
right.
that money like additional money that we get beyond the the town's revenue?
Yes. Yep. And we've submitted a couple of projects for the next round of review through the bond commission. I submitted a project to make renovations to the second field out behind the community center. So we did that first field closest to Route 1. There's another field further back, and I submitted a proposal to fund that project.
And that's through the state bonds, you said?
Yes, yes, yep.
Got it. Okay. And then you just let us know if the state approves something. Do you let us know in these meetings, like, hey, the state approved this type of thing in the director's one? Would that be where you would flow that communication down?
Yes, yep.
Thanks. Is there anything else for this topic, Mark? I don't think there's anything
No, I'm
else.
sorry, nope.
Okay, golf course, I think we already talked about, unless Mark, there's anything else to add.
Yeah, no, other than play remains really strong. We actually had January was a great month. And we are, I think, about $35,000 ahead of last year. And last year was our best year, and it beat the year before, which was our best year. And yeah, golf play just continues to be very strong. And this unseasonably warm weather, or the new normal, whatever this is, golfers are just flooding to the course.
Along the same lines, and I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I really dug my heels in with the golf for a number of reasons. One, because I brought it up last year. Two, because I didn't get a warm and fuzzy from them. I don't know. I just, and even though we said they gave me the $5, right? They gave us the $5, but it's not what I wanted. What I wanted was a separate thing. So they chose to lose more money instead of gaining more money. So they're giving reductions to all the families with the limited. I did not ask for that. I asked for seniors, but that's okay. I guess you call that negotiation, Mark. But
Right. Nobody
I-
wins. Right.
nobody, yeah, nobody wins. Right.
Right.
So
So it was a
anyway,
successful negotiation.
where nobody won. That's right.
Right.
But anyway, so if they had 300, well, I don't know how many family memberships they do have.
Yeah, Dom, I don't have that information in front of me. I think a majority of the memberships are adult.
Single, yeah.
Yeah. And that, may fall under the associate or the associate plus,
Right.
both in the unlimited and the limited. I don't think there's a whole lot of families that play
Okay.
or
thank you.
that sign up that way. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Park Trails Coordinating Task Force.
Yeah, we meet quarterly. Our next meeting, I think, is in March.
Mark, did you ever get a hold of GOSA regarding the conservation area?
Which one?
The one on Thomas Road?
Oh,
We talked about.
yeah. No, you know what, Dom, I haven't. And
I just brought it up to remind you, that's all.
yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm writing it right now under my to-do, which I probably did last month. And I usually try to go through and check everything off. And I must have missed that one. GOSA Sparkle
Just to
Lake.
see if they had the manpower to help keep it clean and et cetera, so.
Okay, Sparkle Lake. Whoops. Okay.
All right, next one I think is the Athletic Fields Task Force.
Okay, so the update to that is we had a public meeting on Tuesday night up at the annex, just prior to the council meeting, and I didn't do a head count, but I would guess there was between 50 and 60 people there. Elizabeth was there, Mike, you were there. Was that
Yeah, I think about 50 people, I would say. That's about right.
50? Okay, all right. So Kent and Frost presented 3 conceptual plans. They handed out a kind of an answer, a question sheet for people to fill out, and also answered questions from the audience as they were presenting. And all of those sheets were collected and are being tallied, along with, there's also the Greater Groton, there's a project set up where people can look at the information online and kind of weigh in on what their thoughts are.
Is the survey included in that too, Mark?
I believe so. Wow.
Because I like how you guys set that up. When you go to the site, like the town site, it comes right up, which is pretty good.
Yeah, we tried to set up I think it's either a QR code or a link that you can click on.
Yeah.
And yeah, it directs it right to, oh, wait a minute. she'll exit right to it. And I'm pretty sure that that's what. I'm just checking it now. Right. Groton. Visioning Colchester School. Yes, there's a survey link right to that. So you can go on the Greater Groton website, click on the Colchester reuse property, and then take a survey. And so the information from the public meeting, along with information or results from the survey, are all going to be compiled, and I think we're scheduled to go back to the council on February 28th to present all of that information, and then hopefully get the council to kind of provide some direction in what they would like to see as the next step. We're hoping that the council will say, we've heard the public speak, and it looks like the public is interested in putting athletic fields there. That would kind of kickstart the next process where we would put together an RFP or an RFQ and try to find somebody that would actually develop not just conceptual plans, take the conceptual plans to the next step, but do all of the costing out and kind of the fine tuning for not only the Colchester site, Sutton Park, and up at the high school, and come up with a total cost for each of the projects, and a total cost for the whole thing. And at that point, we'd go back to the council and say, okay, what do you want to do?
Yeah, Mark, so
Yeah.
I had a question. What I got out of that meeting was good kind of listening, and I kind of got that there was two decisions we made. One is people want to use that as some type of rec or park space, there. That's kind of
Right.
to me was like the whatever goes there, right? Whether it's football, basketball, who cares? Just they want to use a rec or park space. I know some of the surveys said you want to do something or nothing. Are you going to have that information from those surveys, like at least from the ones that were there collated for the council, from the, yes, we think something should go there park wise, or no, don't do anything?
Oh, yeah, that was one of the options, I think, was don't do anything. That was maybe option 4 or 5, I think, on there. So, yeah, if 15 out of the 50 people responded, don't do anything, then it gets a little tricky, because we have money budgeted to kind of start the next steps. And if the council doesn't make a decision about what to do at Colchester, we may just move forward with coming up with design plans for renovations to the fields at Sutton Park and construction and renovations to fields at the high school.
Yeah, what I guess I
Because-
was getting at, Mark, is
Oh.
my recommendation to the council is, right, if you had those facts in the next week or two, you could go to the council and say, hey, we had, some number of people show up to the thing, 60 people, whatever it is, right, 50, 60
Yeah.
people. You could say, hey, of that, 50 of the 60 said that they want to do something there. And then it kind of
Right.
lets the council know, in my opinion, because like one of the councilors was walking around at the end going like, do you want to do something there? Are you in favor of something? Kind of like, they weren't like, did you like the field? Did you like the auditorium? Did you like the pool? They're like, do you want to do something? I think they were gauging, do you want to use it as a park space, or do you leave it as a green field? I think if you have that answer for the council, and I'm not going to speak for them, but it was almost like, yeah, they're going to move forward and say, yeah, go to the next phase where you take all the fields, because it sounds like it needs to be a referendum, which is going to say, in my opinion, what I got out of it is the referendum should almost say, hey, go get all the costs of all that stuff, right? All the other fields. And then you're probably going to have some referendum that inevitably comes down to either do all this or do all the fields as, option A, do the pools option B, or do both A and B in the referendum. To me, it's almost like you're probably going to have those as like a 3 checkbox, so to speak, in a referendum and a vote, and people in the town will have to choose to do, nothing, all the
Right.
fields, fields and pool, or I'm trying to say, like, I think that to me is what it'll probably wind up coming down to, and you'll have to do some studies for the pool to get that type of data, but like,
Right.
to me, that's almost I think you got to go to referendum with all the fields at once, because if you don't try to piecemeal it, I think it's just a disaster zone.
Yeah, Mike, your kids will be grandparents before before we have fields, if we start piecemealing it. You're
Yeah, so I think
absolutely
that-
right. It's kind of an all or nothing.
I mean, to me, that's almost how I think presented to the council. So we want to move forward. This is what we have for stats. I don't know what the stat data was, but I got to imagine, I kind of got the vibe that people want to do something there. Is kind of what I
Yes.
got out of it.
Yeah,
And if you kind of say that to them, I think that the council will approve. I think I heard there was money to do another field study. I think if you can get that out of the council next time, I think that's a good win. And then you can go do maybe the pool study and the field study at the same time, come back and then go back to the council and say, hey, here's the cost for all
right.
the fields in the pool, and then the council can choose to put it on a vote or get a grant and a vote or whatever as next step. Maybe that, even if that's a year out, to me that's probably the best thing over.
Yeah, no, I agree completely, Mike. That would be a win if the council said, okay, let's move forward with figuring out exactly what it's going to cost, take these conceptual plans, drill down and, figure out exactly what it's going to cost for all of these things, both at Colchester, Sutton Park and at the high school. And also, separate from that, I put money in a CIP for a feasibility study for the aquatics facility so that we can kind of figure out exactly what's going to be in it and then what it's going to cost to build, operate, and the revenue. And we heard, I think she was the swim coach for the women's team. They're spending $50,000 a year paying Avery Point, where Parks and Recreation has been paying about $34,000. So, that's right around $90,000 that we're paying every year to Avery Point for limited pool time. I think the swim team gets it from 3 to 5, I think. Parks and Rec gets it on Saturdays after 8 o'clock, after the swim team's been in there, and a few hours on Sunday. And we have to provide all the staff. They don't even, we're paying this money and they don't even provide lifeguards. So, so that's one part of a real big picture.
Mark, were the concepts presented to the town council that evening?
They had been presented earlier.
Oh,
Yeah, a few meetings prior.
Oh, okay.
And they saw those and they said, look, this is great, but we kind of need some 40,000 foot estimates, and that's what Kent and Frost did. They, you have to be really careful that you don't want to put out a number and then everybody gets fixated on that number. And then, you do your due diligence and you find out, okay, what we thought was going to be 1.2 million is actually 1.4. And then everybody was like, well, you told us it was 1.2. So that's why they were really, careful to say, look, this is kind of a big picture number. It hasn't been refined. And yeah, but, as soon as somebody hears a number, that's what sticks in their head.
Yeah, that's why I think that going to the council, I think when I went to that council meeting the first time, I kind of got it that you wanted to, right, wrong, and different. You want them to approve, hey, this is what we want to go do. We go forward with this design or this design. I think it's really not so much we want to go to this design. We want to go forward with a field or a recreation facility design there. We're going to do 2 concept studies for fields here, and other places, and aquatics, and that's what you want the council to approve. Because
Right.
that doesn't mean that they're spending $1 million or $4 million. It just tells them this is the next 2 phases. Approve that. Approve this site is going to be used for some type of rec field.
Right.
I think that the council would be more apt to say, yep, we agree with that based on your stat, than go put 2 fields and a baseball field in this here, because I don't think the council knows.
Right. No, I agree.
Anyone else, or if we'll go to agency accreditation if there's no other comments on this one. All right, Mark, agency accreditation.
All right, so Elizabeth is still plugging away. Every time she's in the office, she gets after me like, when are you gonna do this? When are you gonna do that? Yeah. So, yeah, Elizabeth, we're moving along, right? Yeah,
We're doing really addressing a number of gaps, which is why we have this particular
Yes.
policy for review.
yeah, oh, that's a perfect segue.
Oh, Mark, did you share with
Yeah.
the commission the response from Capra?
Oh, no, I did not. So last month, I submitted a request to the agency that oversees, or the group that oversees agency accreditation, requesting that they extend our application until next year. I think I had told the commission this earlier, but I did hear back and they have agreed to extend our application one more year. If we can't meet next year's deadline, we'll have to resubmit. So I was pleased that they're not making us resubmit because there's a cost involved with the initial application, but they've at this point, we don't have to pay that fee.
All right, I propose we go to the next topic, Mark, for the kind of called the summary, the monthly summary.
Oh, well, that's part of the director's report. And I thought we had already talked about that. I
Did we?
provided, yeah, I provided
Okay.
some additions. I talked about the kickoff meeting and the additional funding from the Connecticut Bond Commission.
Okay, Mark, the only question I had on that was,
Yep.
there was a good breakup in there on 555 meals. The other question I have for you is are those meals that are going out to seniors, people that like, are in need kind of, there was a good breakdown and chart in that report. What do those meals represent?
So those are meals that are served in the cafeteria, meals that are what we call grab and go. So those are, some people come in, they can call ahead and order a meal and it's ready when they come in. And it's also deliveries. Now, there are some seniors that we deliver meals to. So it's a combination of all three of those.
Okay, and are those meals all comped by the town as kind of a nicety, or do they pay? Is it a reduced rate or is it a mix?
Oh, no, they pay.
Okay,
Yeah,
thanks, I'm good.
yeah.
In some time, my meals are very good.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, they're all kind of low salt, healthy. There's usually some protein and a vegetable, and yeah, they're Elizabeth, how much are the meals there? $5.75, $6.25, or it kind of depends on.
Well, because you can either get the entree with sides, which is about $6,
Okay,
or you can go a la carte, salad,
yeah,
dessert, whatever, and
yeah,
that's
soup and
50 cents to $1. So
yeah,
they're very reasonable
yeah,
and good quality. The soup.
Yeah.
Is that available
And-
to anyone or just seniors?
Oh, no, anyone. Yeah,
Okay.
and we actually now put the menu out. We send it to all the town employees, and we have employees that, will swing by and pick up something.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, and one of the other things that we did, well, actually, it's not recently, it's actually over a year old now, which is hard to believe, but there's as you walk into the Thrive, on the left-hand side, there's like a cafe, and we now have volunteers running that, and that is become really popular. People will grab a pastry, they sit down and chat share conversation with other folks, and that has actually helped to generate a little bit more revenue for us.
Okay, thanks. I might spread the word for, I have friends and parents who do a lot of the stuff, so, it might be a good option for them. So good to
Oh,
spread the word.
terrific.
Okay. Mark, I think we have to have a vote on accepting the annual report.
Oh,
Don't we?
was that what Mike was referring to? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, that's what it
Oh,
was.
I'm
it wasn't
sorry. I'm
to
sorry.
executive
I
drink,
thought you were
it
talking
was the
about the
annual report is
monthly
what I was
report.
getting at. I just kind of,
Yeah,
Didn't
I'm
have it in front
sorry. Yeah. No, so the annual report, right? This is something we do annually. And it's part of agency accreditation. And so this is kind of a draft I just wanted to share with with the commission. And, if there's any changes, we can make those. Otherwise, we'll post this up on our website, which we've started posting all of our annual reports.
Can I make a motion to accept it?
Please.
Second.
I'm making a motion to accept the annual report.
And I will second that motion to accept the annual report.
Mike, all those in favor?
I'm good.
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
All right. I think that was unanimous. And Mike, I do want to, I'm glad that you pointed out that you were looking at the chart, because that on the monthly report, not the annual report, that's something that we're going to be transitioning to, getting away from all the text and trying to put some statistics and graphical information. We're going to try to incorporate more of that into the monthly report. So I'm glad you caught that, and we'll share that with the staff that put that together, because this is the first time we've done that.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, no, it's good. I just wanted to question some facts about it.
Sure.
Facts are good. All right, the next item is, I think it was, there's, well, we talked about the golf race, but there was a termination procedure. I assume
Termination,
that-
yeah, and this is a, excuse me, this is another agency accreditation requirement. And essentially, we took the information both in the personnel policy and from what the HR director, information that the HR director provided us, and Elizabeth put this sheet together. And so this is something else that would require approval.
I'll
So
make a
personally-
motion to approve it.
The only question I had before we approve it is, I read it was pretty good. The only question I think I had was, there was kind of three sections, you have termination, resignation, and retirement type thing. The termination section, I assume that it refers you to some other policies or procedures. I didn't pull those to be transparent, but I assume that those, like there was like a section D, I assume that if someone you had to bring them down the termination path, that other section D or that other item would outline the steps that you would have to go through to get them through to termination. Because that wasn't very clear in this. The other ones were very clear, as like you do this, you do this, you do this, but this one didn't have that. And I want to make sure that's included in the section of the other attachment or other link.
Yeah, personnel policy manual comes from HR, and that's where you'll get every step, as well as each of the bargaining unit agreements.
Right. Yeah, there's quite a bit of detail on terminations and that whole procedure.
Okay, I'm good. I figured that, but I want to make sure, because if it wasn't, I would have had comments here, but I'm good. I'm personally
Yeah.
good, so I'll let
Okay.
others speak.
I make a motion to accept the termination procedure.
I'll second that.
Termination and end of employment. We have to call a
Please.
vote.
Yeah. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, I think the motion carries then. And the next meeting, I think, is March 9th. Oh, and I have this at the senior center, is that right? Are we meeting in person next month?
I think we're meeting the first of every month, the first of every quarter, I think, in person.
Okay. So I
Think.
guess I thought,
March is still first quarter.
yeah,
Oh, you're right. Good call.
okay. All right, well, I'll confirm that. And let everybody know, but it is March 9th.
Yeah, just let us know, Mark. I'm okay if you want to say we do that in April and then we kind of do virtual March, whatever. Either way is okay with me.
Yeah, actually, I think Spicer House is April, so I'm not sure why this is popping up saying senior center. It could just be the default.
Oh, yeah, that's the original meeting.
Right, yeah,
Thought about that.
yeah. I think that's it.
Do I have to close
so-
out any section, Mark? Or we just
Yeah,
good?
a motion to adjourn.
Yep, I'll do a motion to adjourn.
Okay.
I'll second the motion to adjourn.
Have
All
a
those
good
in
night,
fa-
everyone.
You two all, bye.
All
I'm
right.
assuming the vote's unanimous on that.
Yeah, I think,
Fran.
I think so, given the
Right,
responses.
have a good night, everybody.
All right,
You too.
thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Mark,
Yes,
check
Yeah.
your email. I just sent you a picture, a recent picture about 3 weeks ago of a new encampment.
oh,
Yeah, so I
Okay.
just, it was after a rain, so they had the bottom tarp hanging and there was a chair over there. I didn't see any
Oh.
evidence of a tent or anything, but I thought I'd share that with you.
and Dawn, this is out at Sparkle
That-
Lake?
Yes, but
Okay.
remember a while ago, I asked you, how far do you own?
Yeah, and I sent you a map.
Yeah, you did, and I'm not quite sure if I went off the trail. I was looking to see how, how one would create more trails. So it's back there
Okay,
in the back off the trails. I think the town owns it, but I'm not
Okay.
sure. Okay, so I just wanted to let you know, since you're gonna be talking about it tomorrow.
okay. Yeah, okay. So other than this chair and this, because I just opened it up, other than the chair and the sheet that's tied up
That's it.
to,
It's a
that's
plastic,
all.
it's a
Yeah,
that was a plastic tarp is what it
Okay.
was.
okay. Huh,
And it's just hanging there between 2 trees. It's the
Yeah.
weirdest, but anyway,
yeah, okay.
have a good night, everyone.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
Right.